Hey, yeah, welcome back in the mix. I think I've got my voice and everything sorted out. Oh crap, I forgot something. Pop that out. I'm gonna say, you say hello to everyone. And then...
Okay, let me say hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final round of LNR season 1 of Chaos, round 6, the final round, Brands Hatch. And as you guys have noticed, it is 2 different voices on stream. The old foe, Mr. Sean Buck, aka Bossman of the Sharks. And then, of course, Paul the Wall, myself, here to entertain you boys for one last time for 2022. We thought it would be appropriate and fitting that we close it out. Hello, Bossman. Is your technical difficulties fixed?
I think so. I think I got everything sorted out now. So I got the screen sorted out. I got the voices sorted out. I got my click touch command sorted out, so I could move between cars. I can mess around with. Yeah, I'm sorted. Welcome. Yo, it's been a while. I can't even remember how long it's been. I actually have a glass of wine. Let's go back into memory lane. Feels like years is what I'm going with.
Yeah, it's probably, I think the last time was before you guys took an hour or gave an hour, I think.
Yeah, the whole time zone, drop shift, all kinds of things, and then everyone scrambles at the middle of the night. So it's actually like, what, 9 o'clock South African time at the moment. It's only like 7 o'clock in UK time at the moment. So yes, daylight savings puts a spanner in the wheel when it comes to sim racing, especially for the UK boys, trying to accommodate the South African field, which, yeah, it makes it hard. Even vice versa, it makes it quite challenging. I think first off, I'm going to apologize. It doesn't look like everyone's liveries has pulled through. I really did give it a big go to try and get everyone's liveries on the cars. Something must have gone horribly wrong. I've got a few here and there, but not everyone. Which is...
Yeah, it happens. It happens. We'll unfortunately, sorry boys, such is life. But yeah, we'll sort it out. As I was saying, for next year we'll be using a nice little product that we found from one of our awesome communities we race over in ERA. They use Awesome Racing livery program, I think is what I'll call it. A nice little program. You click a button and it downloads all of the liveries that whoever has uploaded them into the platform, and then we don't have issues like this. And it's a click of a button and it loads into your ACC automatically, which is, it's a fantastic tool. So yeah, thank you ERA, you boys rock with making life a little bit easier. I see in the chat we've got Mr. Horsebox. So welcome, or shall we say Horse Bollocks, as he has been doubtedly renamed this afternoon by someone who we shall not name. He's the commentator over at ERA, and then we've got Jude. Jude, why are you not racing? Is it load shedding?
Oh, and probably.
Clinton.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the old boys. So again, welcome back to everyone else. It's an honor to do a stream again. I honestly can't do it as much as I want to. I can't wait for time zones to settle out, and hopefully my new house location will get it all sorted. But again, this is enough of us. I mean, this is what, season of Chaos, I think we're round 6, Brands Hatch, a track I haven't even driven in ages. I would probably assume, based on everything that's gone around with database updates, car regulations, BOPs, blah blah blah, we still have the cars that is rear engined that will dominate on this track. Is that still the same thing?
So the Aston and the BM seem to be the front end beasts, but yes, I think for brands, most probably the Honda should be the quicker machine around here, but it is probably also going to be the one machine that would try and kill you around every single corner going around here. So it's going to be quick, but it will be quickly to kill you.
Oh, and it's interesting. I mean, I haven't streamed for a while, looking at the boys. Some of the boys look still familiar. Alan Patterson definitely up there, and I think I had a peek at what the championship standings is for this season, even though it's the season of chaos. I think he's up there, isn't it? I mean,
Patterson is leading it by 4 points over Alex Moore. And then Jude was in third, about 15 odd points back. Unfortunately, Jude confirms he's got load shedding, so he's not making it, which then opens the door for Matthew Gamble in P4, who could possibly take that P3 away from Jude. So I've got the points table up next to me here. So because there's only 4 points between Alan and Alex, it all comes down to that fantastic thing we call a drop round. So at the moment, Alex has got if they both don't finish this race, or if they finish with 1 point, let's say that 1 point, there is a 15-point swing. Alan's worst race is 5 points, Alan's, and Alex's worst race is 20 points. So there's a 15-point swing there that Alex needs to, in theory, overcome to be able to take away this championship from Alan. So it's going to be interesting, and with it being the season of chaos, the final round, the top 3 in the championship start from last and work their way back. So Alan is starting in last place, and then it's Alex, and then it was supposed to be Jude. And then the rest of the field was basically a nice little wheel app where we spun the wheel, and every time a name popped up, they would then spin and get a position and then get removed from the wheel. So for the second round in a row, I think Gary probably bribed the app somewhere down the line. He is on pole position for this round.
Holy crap. So it's that mad. Like I struggled just to keep on track, and I was actually showing the points to everyone on track or on stream, sorry, just to give them a bit of a visual perspective of what is actually going on. So what you're actually saying is this is free practice, then no qualifying, set grid standard, spin of the wheel, lucky draw kind of thing, and those that actually do well in races get kicked back to the rear end, and they got to work their way forward. And the better you do throughout the race, the good your point is. That is.
Yep. That's exactly what this chaos has brought for us.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely madness. And again, looking where everyone is, it's a decent enough grid. Again, probably not as much as what we would normally run, which is all fair and good and well. It is the end of the year. I mean, 2 weeks from now we're in the Christmas period, so I'm assuming a lot of individuals is on the holiday spirit. Myself will be from next week, so everyone on holiday or in the spirit already. Happy holiday season's greetings to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a few guys obviously load shedding in South Africa, being at stage 5. That horrible thing is a factor, but yeah, I think everyone is just, they are stimmed out for the year, and I think everyone's just kind of ready to just switch it off and go have a bit of fun with family and friends and have a few fries and drinks and so on, and for the boys in Europe, stick some beers in the snow and enjoy the cold, and that's basically it. So yeah, that's we've I think a 15 car grid, not too bad. And the grid is quite interesting. So you've got Gary on pole position, then you've got Kale in P2, then Dave Young, then Jacques Vermeulen, and then Chris Heineke and Matthew Gamble. Now, in the last 2 or 3 rounds, Heineke and Gamble has been the boys to kind of be there or be thereabout. So they've been unlucky with the spin of the wheel in the previous 2 rounds, where this round the wheel was very favorite towards them and places them at the top end of the grid. So this is going to make it real interesting. And then, I mean, then you've got Niall is like in P12, you've got his dad in P14, Lee, then you've got Wilfred that's sitting in P7. So it's really a mixed bag of a grid here. So it is, we definitely in for some either extremely good entertainment or a lot of tears and some laughs along the way, with some chaos thrown in over all of that.
Now, and from a car selection point of view, how's that been this season? It's like everyone picks what they like, what their favorable is.
Everyone was told that they are allowed to pick a car, but not whatever they have used in the previous season.
Ooh.
So that also forced many of the guys to swap cars. So that's why you only have a handful of BMWs, because the previous season 80% of the grid was BMWs, and that is why you've got, I think, more Astons and a Ferrari and 1 or 2 extra Hondas thrown in just for the spice of it, because everyone was in a BMW.
Well, that throws it up a little bit more. I mean, again, this is LNR. It's never going to be an easy adventure. Simultaneously, we're always going to try and challenge the benchmark and see how we can further the line for individuals that learn something new. I mean, I can remember the days that every time we swap cars, change cars, force people their hand, they end up learning a different car, and then they end up loving it. I don't think that'll happen for me. I'm going to stick to BMW until it's absolutely horrible, which I don't think that's going to happen, because it's still the most favorable car on track. So looking at the grid, there's R Heineke and C Heineke. Is that like some family relation?
Yes, I have not had it confirmed, but I assume that R Heineke is the younger brother to Chris. So he's very new. He's kind of started out, I think, with a season of chaos with us, and he's maybe done 1 or 2 in between races with some of the other communities. So he's very fresh and new to ACC. So he's kind of just enjoying it and having a bit of fun with it. And then Veronos, his nickname is actually Memo. He comes from the console days from Sarko. So he's actually Dylan from Sarko's cousin, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, couple of extra guys, and then we've got a new guy, Kopsa, that has signed up to race. So yeah, so we always add a bit of mixture here with some new flavor to the grid.
Well, it's good to see that people keep it in the family, man. It's what sim racing is all about. It's not just what we do behind the scenes, closed doors, hopefully with the door locked, because a large majority of those individuals are married, therefore they need to ensure that they stay in a safe zone when they climb behind the wheel. But yeah, it's not just that. It's sporting, it's racing, it's in our blood. So it's good to see it evolve. I'm assuming next year is going to be far more interesting, but that's probably still on the plans. For this evening, though, we have about 50 seconds of a free practice session left, and then we're literally going to kick it off with a. Well, you gotta tell me what the details is. I'm assuming it's a 60-minute race. What are we expecting?
Yeah, the race was supposed to be 70 minutes, but it has been reduced to 55.
Okay.
To try and accommodate to finish the event by 10 for the boys that start load shedding at 10, which I know Heineke and his brother and 1 or 2 of the other boys. So it's to try and accommodate them. But yeah, then we've got mandatory fuel and tire change. But the temperature is probably the big factor here. It is supposedly going to be between 10 to 12 degrees. That is where it should be. It should not be much warmer than that.
Oh, so it's a cold Brands Hatch.
It's
That's
a cold Brands Hatch, yes.
well, that's a typical UK weather day. Peak of the summer
Thank
is
you.
what I would call it. So it's good. I mean, if it looks like this at 10 degrees, I can probably assure you 99% of the UK individuals will have no tops, sun tanning like it's crazy. Um, but that's not going to bring any favors to the BMW because again, I love the BM, but I know it doesn't like cold tracks, cold conditions. It never performs that well in those conditions. So that is certainly going to be interesting, considering that you indicated that it is probably one of the top cars to pick off from.
Yeah, exactly. So the races have been either boiling hot, which suits the BM, or it's ice cold, which suits the Honda, or it's been in between where they kind of both either just missed the window or just in the window. So it's the weather throughout the season has been we've been mixing it up and just having absolute stupid fun with it. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Jazz and JJ. Good to see you boys there. As always, why are you not racing?
So
Could be the question.
from a grid stand point of view, we've got Gary on pole, Dave in second with his BMW, Jacques Vermeulen in third, Chris Heineke, as you said, in fourth, Gamble in fifth, then Robson. Ooh, I can't even pronounce that, and I'm not even going to try. Ferrara, Schnur, Serrano. Ah, that's Serrano. Now I
Serrano
remember.
from console. Yes, from console has moved
Ah,
over to PC. Yes.
Mr. Serrano. That makes it okay. Yeah. I picked it up now. Like it's like a light bulb moment. Ding. um, then Nel Bullion, Lee Bullion, Moore, Patterson, Heineke, and Kops. So based on where we stand with the championship and the grid position at this moment, how hard does Alan Patterson have to work this evening to take the W?
Okay, so let's get that portion of it sorted. Ideally, he would just need to finish behind Alex to make it as easy as possible. But because the points are so vastly different, so basically he would get 15 points if he just remained in P15. Okay, let's see, he's in P14, so he would score 17 points. Where 55 points is up for grabs for P1. So there's a lot to drive for here. As I say, the big thing for them is going to be the drop round. Alan's worst drop round is 5 points, and Alex's worst round is 20 points. So on the one side, Alan doesn't want to do too well here or he wants to do well here because his worst drop round is that 5 points. Whereas for Alex actually probably here would want to do worse because then he would drop. So if Alex basically does not score any points or DNFs and he gets the bare minimum of 15, then he would have a net 5 points on Alan.
Sure.
Then he would be ahead of Alan by 5 points. So it's going to be tricky. So I will, as the race like every 10-15 minutes evolves, I will do the points to see where they're at and what's happening with their drop, those two boys and their drop rounds, because that is where it's going to be very, very key and very, very interesting to see what happens. Then P3, you've got Matthew Gamble and Chris Heineke that are both, in theory, in with a shot. So Chris missed 2 rounds. So he's got 2 rounds of 0 scoring points. So whatever he gets here is a bonus. He just gets straight on. It's no dropping points. So whatever he gets here gets added on. So if he does really well, he can add 30, 40 points to his tally. Whereas Gamble has, Gamble's same. He's also not made 2 races. So between them, and there's only 3 points between them, and they are about. Gamble is 13 points behind Jude in P3, and Chris is 15 points behind you. So for them, it's all to play for. If they can finish in that top 3, top 4 spots, they're going to be fighting for P3 in the championship. So it's going to be interesting. But I see the boys are lining up here,
Yeah,
getting
lineup
ready to go.
is pretty much side by side action, and again, this is Brands Hatch. It's a track that is vastly different to any other track. Here you have to make your opportunities. It just doesn't come. It's not dealt off easily. And again, unless the guy in front of you makes a big mistake. Let's see where this starts. Corner 1 is going to be tricky and interesting. Green light is on the go, so I'm going to go with an helicam view just to get a perspective of where we stand. Ooh, people very, very cautious into corner 1. Looks finely tight. Oh, there goes a Honda off. That is Chris Heineke. All of a sudden went off. I'm not even 100% sure what that is. So that brings... That's tricky. And who's that? Jacques Vermeulen instantly P1.
Yeah, Gary's like just dropped. Jock has taken the lead. Gamble is P2 and Gary has dropped to P3. So, oh boy. Jock must be shocked. He has literally done an arrive and drive with like 10 minutes of practice.
and the guy behind him, tucked nicely behind him, is Gamble. So Van der Haar and Young went very, very cautious, lost 2 positions. Robson on the rear end of them. Schnur and Heineke, oh, back in the mix again. I actually want to see if I can go all the way back to about 60 seconds or so. See what happened to the start there. I completely missed that.
He just lost it on his own. He just, I looked at the replay and he twitched. And that was it. Done.
Twitched on the first corner. That's...
Twitched on the exit down the hill, and that Honda just spat him out. Wilfred looking up. Wilfred is having a look up the inside of Dave. He was. Okay, I actually need to. You might want to share your view. Otherwise, you and I are watching 2 different views.
2 different views. I can probably do that because again, I'm going back into replays, trying to just see what happened where. It's probably not a bad idea for you to have your view, because you might see something I don't see. So I'm still getting back into
having a look up the inside of Wilfred. So he's going up the inside, and you've got Alex that's sitting in P7 with Patterson in P8. So they have carved their way through the field, and they are already having a look trying to get through the boys here. So now the question will be is how hard is Wilfred and them. Oh, and Alan having a look. Alan taking outside move around Alex. Oh my word. Wilfred just backs out of it completely. I think he's just getting out of the way, not wanting to be involved in this battle at all. But Alex all of a sudden does not look very comfortable in this fight. Niall is sitting in P10. Slight lonely battle. Chris has worked his way back up to 12, coming through the final corner, looking to put a pass on Lee. So he hasn't lost too much. And Alex and Schnur is in the pits.
So Alex went into the pits. Schnur went into the pits.
Alex is playing the strategy game here by jumping in the pits early, and that's going to be interesting to see how that pays off for him.
Well, again, there's no time limit on it. As we get Alan Patterson making another move there, is that Dave? No, that's Ferrara. So he has made a move on Ferrara there. That puts Patterson up another position, but then puts Ferrara under severe pressure. He's got Robson looking on the inside, closes the door on him as they enter that corner. That's risky going 2x2 through there. But again, Robson's also under some pressure there by Kopse. Is that? Am I saying that correct?
I have no idea. I guess that's what we'll go with.
Okay. Well, Copes. I'm gonna go with Copes. It sounds better. I don't know. again, if I mispronounce your name, you are not the first one. I've done it too many. Too many.
Exactly. So Alex has done his pit stop. He is roughly about 20 seconds ahead of Vermeulen, so he's at least not in blue flags. So he now has clean air. So he now needs to lay down his laps and run his race to the end, basically, and hope that the other boys can all fight with Alan and, in theory, hold him up.
Well, Schnur, on the other hand, has also done a pit stop, but he has got an Audi in front of him, which is a Varonis.
Memo. That's Memo.
Memo, okay, no Memo. And that's going to upset him completely. Ooh, as those two make contact, just as I spoke about it, like instantaneously.
Oh, that is not great at all.
No, Schnur certainly not having the best of races this evening. I think that's the second time I've seen him in contact. Back in the front grid, Jacques Vermeulen, he is under severe pressure there by Gamble. Again, Gamble is on the move from a positioning point of view. Both of these individuals have gained 3 positions from their starting grid. Biggest winner thus far is still Patterson and still Copes. I'm going to go with Copes. And I'm going to keep saying that because it sounds weird every time I say that.
Absolutely sounds weird, but let's go with it.
Let's just see. So this is Honda Ferrari. Ooh, bit of a glitchy there. I think it's ping. No, definitely. That looks very network related there.
Yeah, his ping is definitely not great. So I'll have a look at that now, just to get us to see if there might be some penalties that need to be dished out over here.
That was a bit weird. Again, he has been a bit glitchy since the start, and again, from what I observed on that, he and Jacques went with each other side by side, and it all looked well coming down the start-finish line. Again, Gamble making very valuable closing the gap to Vermeulen. And then as they entered into corner 2, it's like a double triple move there with his car all over the show. Now Jacques did go wide, Clo came in, left him enough room, and it looks like, but what I would see is the corner just bumped him into Vermeulen.
Yeah, so that's more of a race incident than anything else right there.
That definitely didn't go in his favor, but again, his ping is a bit over the place. Again, that's network issues. On the other hand, Alan Patterson is doing well. He started way at the back of the race, and look where he's sitting at the moment.
Yeah, he is flying, absolutely flying.
Now, of course, that is a phenomenal start and a drive. That is what you would have wanted from an individual sitting at the back of the grid, wanting to move forward, thinking he can do great. He did definitely do good laps at the practice session, so he looks comfortable in what he's driving. And all he did up until now is kept his nose clean, took the opportunities where it needs to be, and he's in 3rd place. 2 individuals that he needs to hunt down, and the gap between them is not that significant. It's about less than 2 seconds. So I reckon this is still going to be quite exciting going forward. Moore, you said, has pitted. So Moore is continuing. Nail is also in the pit. He's coming out of the pit spot and he's exiting just behind Moore. Now that's going to be quite interesting in the Aston. Goes very wide there. Strategically wise, this is quite epic. It's hard to follow. Again, this branch hatch, it's always so up to pace, quick, fast. Boys are within a few tenths of each other. Copes, he's getting into grips with himself in the BMW. Now, of course, he's got Gamble behind him, who had that slight incident with Vermeulen. Based on times and deltas and all that, it doesn't seem like Vermeulen was very much phased of that incident. So
Vermeulen looks like it hasn't affected him at all.
Yeah. Again, everyone on the grid, apart from a few individuals here, are doing mid to high 24s or a very low 25 of a lap time. So the grid on pace is identical almost. Like within a second or two based on their last lap deltas. Fastest guy on track at the moment is Heineke. Now again, Heineke is trying to make up on what he lost off in the beginning. And I still don't understand how that happened. It's like you said his car just snapped on him coming out of the first corner. So
That's it.
you reckon it's a bit of dirt on the tires, too much curb?
Might just that corner in the Honda, it tends to sometimes just it gets a slide and then you counter it and then it just absolutely grips with everything it has and then it just spits you in the opposite direction. Alan has gone past Gary, so Alan is in pursuit of Vermeulen in P1, but he's 3 seconds behind. Chris, however, has made up quite a bit of time. He's only about, what's it, 2, 4, 6, about 8 seconds behind Jacques, so that's not bad.
Heineke, yeah, he's not far off. If we look at where we stand from a map standing point of view and just giving everyone a perspective of what we talk about, at the moment, car number 2 is going around the corner. Jacques is going down the straight line there. He's going to take that left, that right-hander now. So it's very close.
It's definitely, it's going to be a close battle here. And Heineke and Gamble, that's your P3 battle right there for championship honors.
Now again, this is quite close because now again Heineke is catching up on Gamble. As I said, Heineke has got the fastest lap at the moment, based on his sector times at the current stage is phenomenally quick. He's really putting it down. Still the quickest man in sector 1, 2, and 3. So I reckon that move's going to be not for long, because Gamble looks like he's being held up by Dave, Copes, and he just can't get past.
Yeah. Copes kind of just been sitting back and taking, as everyone makes mistakes, and giving him spots. So he hasn't really put a move on really to get past anyone. Everyone around him's pitted or fallen off or crashed or taken each other out. So he's just been collecting positions. So he's going to get past Dave, and Dave is not an easy character to just get past, especially around this track, because they're both in the BMW, so he's really going to have to do something special there.
Yeah, again, this is going to be quite interesting. On the back end of Gamble is Heineke. On his front end is 2 individuals fighting for a position. As someone is there off track, that is Dave gone off track, coming back very, very aggressively. Did he falter anyone? No, not really, huh? That was a big mistake by Dave. Like, he potentially touched some grass, seemingly looked like he missed the barriers. I don't see any damage from my point of view. Just see if we can go back and catch a bit of a glimpse of that. That might be too late.
He just ran off, and then he almost he misses the
way off.
But he almost, I think he just tried to keep it out of the wall, and he almost collected Heineke there. I'm sure Heineke must have had a
yes, that I can visually see 2 arms going up, 5 fingers, and 2 of those fingers were meant for the driver that came back on track. Quite interesting. So this battle still continues. So now Dave's out of the way. Vermeulen is also under pressure. Now he's got Patterson all over him.
Up to him so quickly. So Patterson is flying.
He is quick. So Patterson so far has now set the quickest sector 2 times, far quicker than what Heineke did on his fastest lap. So that does make it interesting, and I'd love to watch it, but I also want to see what goes on at the back between Copes. Heineke making a big mistake over there, so not much from that point of view. Gamble not being the aggressor here. still.
He seems to he bides his time as he goes. So I think he's just gonna wait it out and you know, because that's P4 sitting right in front of him. So without having to be too aggressive with that would be a good spot to be in, where Heineke is again going to have to fight to get his way back in there.
That is true, but again, if we look at where that first initial, I would say, incident was between himself and Vermeulen, he did look like he was the aggressor. Wanted to make a move on the inside, wanted to go on the outside, brought it back on the inside again. Unfortunately, the curb bounced him back into Jacques, therefore he's lost the position, and now he's all settled backwards and being comfortable and cautious with Copes ahead of him, but also not really doing much, even though Heineke is right behind him, making tremendous strides forward.
Yeah,
so
if I have a look at Moore, so Jacques has taken 4 seconds out of Moore. So Moore's gamble, in my opinion, I don't know if it's paid off, because they are closer to him from behind than he is to them from the front.
that is true. And then more battles everywhere. So we still have Dave Young here again. He is now being chased down by Robson. Right behind him is that Jacques Vermeulen? That is Jacques. So
No,
Patterson has made a move.
Jacques jumped into the pits.
Jacques gone into the pits, but he's lost like 4 seconds already to Patterson. So I reckon somewhere Jacques has made an error. I'm gonna go and see if I can find that. Where is Jacques? Yeah, Jacques has collected himself into the barriers.
Drilled himself into the wall there. Oh my word. Jacques strikes again, race 2, but this time Jacques does not take out a fellow teammate, he takes himself out.
Yes, so Jacques has lost the position and collected the wall. That's unfortunate. It opens up the door for Patterson. Patterson is now free.
Patterson's he's gonna be free to just drive his race, and unfortunately I feel like this is all just slipping away from Moore in 11th.
It potentially is. Now the front end doesn't get less exciting knowing that Vermeulen has gone into the pit, collected the wall signages. Again, we've got Gary van der Haar, he's got Copes, Campbell and Heineke on his rear end.
All over him. Yeah, he's and
Gamble going in.
As you say that, Gamble jumps into the pits. Gary's going to be Mr. Defender here. He needs to be, because he does not look like he's really got the overall pace. But if you make that Aston wide enough, they shall battle to get past you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You say he doesn't really like from Delta at this moment. He seemingly doesn't have the pace, because again his last lap was a 1:25.5. Everyone behind him did a 1:25. Again, Heineke did a 1:24.6. So they have the pace. But as you said, getting past someone at Brands Hatch requires finesse, requires the skill. It's all about setup, making the move, getting the correct exit speed on that final corner, which is tough.
Yeah, no, well, we up to, with 37 minutes left to go in this race. I do feel like, Patterson looks to have it in hand, so he just needs to take care of it. I think the battle at this stage is literally for P3 in the championship with Heineke and Gamble taking the gamble and putting in first.
You can just hear the finesse that Heineke is taking coming around that corner. Higher gear rate, not really wanting to challenge at this moment. I think Heineke is sitting a bit back, hoping that the individuals in front of him makes an error, and if that doesn't happen within a lap or two, he is going to be the aggressor. Yellow on Moore. Moore has had a yellow, so there was some incident of Moore.
Yeah, Moore's behind. He's dropped. I think he's dropped. Let's have a look.
He has definitely dropped position. Neil Bullion is ahead of him. So he has lost a place there. Slight incident, maybe a petite hiccup. And see if I can find it though. So Moore coming out. Goes wide on that corner. Oh, he and Gamble
coming
made
together.
contact. 2x2 cars going through that corner. Again, it is very possible to do so. So I do wonder how that was so challenging. Height, it's Brands, it's Brands. 2 cars going wide on any corner in Brands, I don't know. The guys are very brave, very brave.
Like Gamble flopped over the curb and just drifted into.
Well, Gary has dropped back, so he's missed that whole scenario. Heineke and Copes has passed Gary. That is quite interesting. And here's another battle for you. Jacques Vermeulen, who went into the pits, potentially fixed his car. He has dropped back significantly. He's got nail bullion on his rear end. Now looking left and right, reckon he can pass it. Now both of these boys have pitted already, so this is for position. Don't see. Ooh, someone went off track. Yeah, that again. That is Moore. What? Is it just me, or is Brands Hatch very another individual off track?
Yeah, car number 3.
Something's gone horribly wrong. Horribly wrong.
Memo ran off track there. But yeah, Alex looks like he is definitely not having a comfortable race over here.
There's a few individuals not having a comfortable race. I, on the other hand, would have thought tracks like Mount Panorama would be difficult for some other reason. Brands Hatch is 10 times worse. Survive. Okay,
Yeah,
back of the pack. So
these boys are keeping us busy all over the place.
They are. Again, I'm at Robson at the moment because right behind Robson is Vermeulen, is Bullion, is Moore. Again, Moore not having the best of races. Vermeulen was leading the race. He is now currently a 9th. That is not where he wanted to be. Robson keeping it clean from the word go. He's an 8th ahead of Vermeulen. So he's looking good and comfortable at this stage. I also see he's a bit more confident. Vermeulen is very sketchy going into certain corners. It's like he's lost the control and finesse that is needed for this track. The minute you lose any concentration, you gotta make that up again, and that's hard in a track like this.
Yeah, 69 is the yellow flag. And that's into the pits.
What just happened there?
That's R. Heineke. I don't know if he's returned to pits or did he go into the pits. Let's have a look and see what happened. I will quickly check for us, but
quick swap there. Moore has made two places up down the straight. Somehow, how he did that, I'm baffled. It seemed like Vermeulen was very slow coming out of the corner. He had Bullion behind him, and Bullion couldn't make a move. And then Moore just had some turbo lag in him to get past that. Again, Chris Heineke is still sitting behind Copes. The lap times that these boys are doing at the present moment is still in the low 24s. Heineke struggling. It's like Heineke gets into a rhythm and then loses a bit of focus, potentially taking a shot at tequila, and then when he does that on a corner, keeps it on the black stuff then, and continues from there on.
Yeah, 69 back in the pits, so he returned to pits, and I don't know if he is going to continue with the car where it is, and Heineke slowing down as well. Heineke stopping on track.
Heineke, I've lost him. Have I? No, there he is.
Then he gets going again. Heineke stopped on the start-finish line.
I'm gonna go with lots of technical difficulties this evening.
Yeah, it must be something that he had to reset on the wheel or something. I would only assume.
It's like it's the same as what it kind of looked like when Jacques Vermeulen came down the straight, and all of a sudden Alex Moore just went flying past him, and it looked like Vermeulen was a sitting duck, and now Vermeulen's back up to pace and speed again. So I'm gonna go with lots of technical weird difficulties. Alan Patterson, on the other hand, he is gaining on the guys.
He's coming up to lap the boys.
He's going to sit very comfortable going to the pits, be a lap ahead of his competition.
Yeah, just about. Because Moore is only 4 seconds ahead of him, and Alan jumps into the pits now. I think that is maybe a good move, not getting involved with back markers and stuff, to get that pit stop out of the way now. Now, hopefully he made sure he did not speed into pit lane, that he doesn't get any penalties.
I would say that's hard on Brands Hatch, because Brands Hatch has got this snaky, twisty entry. If you speed in the pit lane on Brands Hatch and not touch the barriers, you are skilled. No two ways about it. Because that's hard for any given individual. As we go back, this is Lee Bullion, father of Neil Bullion, in a BMW. He is being chased down by Ferrara.
Terence Mr. Puntim Ferrara.
I'm not even going to ask where that comes from, but okay.
So Terence has been on a punting spree over the last few races.
I'm assuming he gets punted, because I can't see this man punting.
He's been the punter.
The punter. Oh, well. Yeah. I don't know. We've all been there. I've been there. Where you walk away from a season and you think back and go like, how? Why? What has gone wrong? Why is everyone in my way?
So Patterson has got one heck of a gap. So Moore at this point is sitting theoretically in net P3, which I assume will change once Heineke and Cops and those boys jump into the pits. But he's sitting in net 3, but Robson's sitting in P2, but he's 19 seconds behind Patterson.
He's not that far off Robson, but Robson looks fairly comfortable in that Honda, doing phenomenal times at the moment. Like an underdog of note, and all he's doing is he's putting the laps down, keeping the nose clean, running that Honda, and Moore just can't make up the time.
Yeah, so Cops has been released, so he
Cops
might
is
be close with Patterson coming out. He's okay, not as close, but he's the closest to Patterson.
He is. Cops is having a phenomenal race. He has gained 11 positions from his starting grid.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely probably going to be net P2 for him once Terence and Lee and Dave pit. So I think he's definitely going to be in P2 once this all filters through.
Ooh, Heineke is out, so Heineke is ahead of Robson.
And Gary is ahead of Heineke.
And Gary is ahead of Heineke. How did that man do that?
The snail has been keeping it consistently slow. That's what he does. It's consistent, might be slow, but it's consistent, and that's how he racks in those good results.
Well, they're both on cold tires, so it's who's going to be the better man out of here. And from pace point of view, I think Chris has got that slight edge over Van der Haar. All big ups to him as he goes, hey, why?
Went way wide there. Yeah, Heineke should be able to just get past Gary quite easily here. But over the last few races, Gary has been very aggressive with his defending, so
Oh,
he
that
might
is
just
an outside
make
line.
it easy.
Too wide in the final corner.
Wow,
That
look
is...
at that. Oh, Gary has a twitch.
That is well done.
This
They're
is
still going
so-
side by side though.
Is Gary gonna have no? Gary backs out of it. Gary backs out of it. But
Oh,
that was close. I really thought Gary might keep it in, but that's kind of brought Wilfred a little bit closer. Because look at him, here he comes.
well, just looking at that, that's phenomenal driving. These boys went side by side on the final corner, next to one another down the straight, and I think it's that extra bit of pace that Heineke had from exiting the final corner, having the better line from an exiting
Yes,
point as opposed to
definitely.
Gary, that gave him that upper edge. So again, Gary losing out on pure blunt speed down the straight. I think he had no option but to step back and go, it's yours, because he's lost it based on that exit point.
Yes. And then you've got Dave, Moore, and Vermeulen all like line astern here together.
It's still close at the back, but I don't think that close. Again, Heineke in front, Van der Haar, Robson. Dave Young has passed Alex Moore though, so Alex is not having a good race.
Yeah, so Alex is definitely going to have to fight with Dave to get that spot there.
And
At P7.
Dave opening it up. Now is that a decision of I'm not going to challenge you because this is not my championship to race, or?
It does. It certainly seemed that way, that he just moved out of the way there to let Alex through. So that would give Alex a P7, net P7 at this moment in time. So if I have a look at the points, I'm going to quickly do the calculation. So P7 would give him 26 points. Let's see what this does once we calculate the drop rounds here. Let's have a look and see.
Patterson definitely has potential W here.
Yeah, I think Patterson's on for the full 55 here, so I think he's pulling this one out of the bag. Yeah. So basically he will walk away, if I have a look at this and just double checking correctly here. So Patterson will walk away as the champion with 209 points, whereas Alex will be on 176.
Oh yeah, that is a big gap between those two individuals.
Alex is only getting 26 points from this race, whereas Patterson at this moment in time is taking 55 points. And no matter which way you skin that, that's a lot of points that you are dropping right there.
Yes, it's kind of like one of those, I need a disconnect and maybe I'll get something.
Just about.
Again, not commentator's curse, I'm just stating the obvious. Gary van der Haar again under pressure with Robson. Robson, like, he is really driving well today. Dave Young also under a bit of pressure by the back boys there, so some speed demons on his rear end.
Yeah, I think Dave's going to have a good battle here with Jacques, because Jacques done zero prep, and I think Niall has done zero prep in Aston as well, seeing as his rig and everything is at his dad's house, and he's not racing from his house, so he's not able to really put in any practice time. So I think if he does something horrible, Lee's just going to reach over and give him a slap over the head, because their rigs are sitting next to each other.
Oh, that's the last thing you would want is big old daddy-o giving you the look, especially a Scottish oak.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. But yeah, so as we can see, Dave's fighting back with Alex here. So Alex is really having a torrid race. He's having an absolutely nightmare of a race.
It's like something's just not working for Alex. And again, I think potentially Dave, who as he is being taken by Jacques Vermeulen getting a better racing line out of the final corner. Dave went a bit too wide. Ooh, close contact
Slowly.
between the two. Wow, well handled there by Jacques. That is counter steer deluxe, is what I would call.
Jock would have now learned how his Moser wheel feels with full-on opposite lock right there to keep that from spinning around.
Yes, that is hard. That's like at the exit of turn one. And again, that was a slight tap by Dave. But
Yep.
both of them held it very nicely and still managed to control the car. So that is good for both individuals. Robson still giving challenge to Gary. Now, all was fair in love and war, but I know Mr. Snell, Gary van der Haar. He's gonna do as much as he can to keep Robson behind him because I reckon this is bragging rights. This is all this is, bragging rights.
Yeah, this is going to be. I'm the quicker AM driver between the AM drivers over at LNR. That's what this is going to be because Gary does not see himself as alien potential, and Robson always convinces us that he is a slow driver. So this is going to be for bragging rights between who's the slowest driver or the quickest of the slowest drivers.
Or of the old school guys. I'm gonna call them the old school drivers.
The old school guys.
Again, Kieran Patterson on that. Again, saying hi to you.
How's it going? Welcome. And Brandon, welcome to the stream. Good to see you boys here. Yeah, Patterson here to support his dad.
Again, he's running away with them. EWS are on the mark as always. I think this is one of those teams that are just phenomenally competitive in any community they step into. I'd love to know what their delivery looks like in this Aston. I'm fairly sure it would have been gorgeous. The delivery loads of my end didn't go as planned. I did try and do it as quickly as I could, but I think it failed miserably on my end.
Yeah, no, yes, the delivery on Patterson's Aston is definitely something to admire.
Yeah, again, they always bring up something nice that I love. It's always clean cut, nice lines, easy, simple, and it's just phenomenal. Again, he's leading the race. It doesn't look like anyone's going to challenge him. Copes is doing what he does best, sitting comfortably in his, I would say, potentially P2 again. Ferrara hasn't pitted yet, so he's still the leading guy on track at the moment, but he has yet to do a pit stop. And then of course, big battles is between Gary van der Haar and Robson for P4, P5 technically, and then Vermeulen, Dave Young, and Noel Bullion are the individuals battling it out with Moore. Again, Moore falling backwards, Vermeulen taking that position. It just looks like, oh, another tap, rear end tap there by Jacques. What is this?
The boys are, ooh, and Niall goes on the grass.
These boys are playing dangerously.
I think the boys have had enough of trying to not get involved in Alex's championship, and they're saying to Alex, well, you're not picking up the pace, so we're going to dog this out. That's it, done.
Yeah.
Elbows out, away we go.
Elbows out. Vermeulen's Honda is being kissed all over. Everyone's had its turn around it, even himself and the wall. So, adventurous evening for the Honda. See, if I was the car, I would never go back into getting Jacques in my driver's seat. Like, that is just pure abuse from the word go.
Absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely. These boys are. He's. I think since his finger incident, he's been very aggressive with the
Robson
boys.
made a mistake. Robson made a big mistake. He is in the wall. He is
Robson
just in the wall. What did this man do?
Yep, and that whole front end of that Honda is sticking up in the air. So
yeah, that is just awful. Let's see if I can. Ooh, big slide from him. That is just a big slide coming out of turn one. Went straight into the wall there and said hello to it again.
Yep. If I was him, he has a big enough gap over the rest of the boys, I would just try and survive. You got 15 minutes. Try and
Well,
survive.
15 minutes is gonna be hard for the condition of that car at the moment. So let's just see how it looks like. Bonnet in the air. Um, that is definitely aero. You can hear how slow he is going there. Let's see if I can get a bit of a driver's perspective.
He must be swearing.
Oh, yeah. That car isn't healthy. 15 minutes is going to be a long enduring for him to try and nurse this car all the way through. Yeah, to the pits is probably the best thing. Again, still battles in the mid-mix of the boys. So, Vermeulen, Aïf, Moore, Bullion, they are the closest battles on track. Patterson, comfortable.
Yeah, Patterson's got 3.5 seconds over Kopse, so he's comfortable where he is. And then Heineke is about 7 seconds behind Kops, so
yeah,
he's going to struggle to I assume make up that time there. So yeah.
Well, again, fastest lap still on Heineke. He did better his previous fastest lap by about a tenth or so. So he's on the 1:23.4. Oh, excuse me.
See that we've lost Gamble.
Have we? Oh, we have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gamble is gone.
Lost a few individuals though, 2 at least.
Matthew says now in Discord that he's apologizing for his connection that was not great, and he eventually DC'd.
Oh.
And not being great.
Again, no apologies needed. It does happen. We all rely on the gods of internet speed, fiber networks, and our service providers to give us the best they can, and hopefully on the day and on the night that it actually needs to do what it has to do, sometimes it doesn't. Which makes me worry. I mean, I'm moving house, and my new network for my new house is going to be probably a fifth of what I have at this moment. So I need to test that out the minute I can. Ferrara made an error as well. So Ferrara has tried to stick it out for as long as he can. 13 minutes still to go. Hasn't gone to the pits yet.
Yeah, he's sticking this out. He's gonna probably on the last lap do his pit stop.
That's, again, probably nothing wrong with that. As long as it gets up into the jacks, gets the tire change, does what needs to be done, and all good and well. But I reckon Patterson is going to make an easy passing maneuver over there, because that BMW looks a bit dented. And that seems to be aero at this stage. So, top 2 boys, top 3 individuals at the moment, just out of curiosity. Last best lap at this stage. Of course, I've all said and done it. Patterson, Heineke did again another tenth of his fastest time on the screen, as you can see, a 1:23.377. I think the only individual closest to him is, of course, Alan Patterson with a 1:23.9 of his best time. And then not far off him is Copes with a 1:23.930. So
yeah, the boy, he's in there. The newbie is in there, and not too shabby there.
No, for Team Fun Racing, he's having a good race. He's gonna love the results of this. Again, 11 minutes to go as Ferrara goes into the pit. Anything can still happen. We've seen it now. Like, plenty of things has gone on. It's up to these boys to make or break.
Yeah, well, it's not over until it's over, eh?
No, it's not. Gary looks very, very comfortable where he is. Robson has come out. He's now all the way back into 11th place. Lost a lot of time. He's 2 laps down to Lee Bullion. So that has cost him significantly. Baronos is still in the mix with his Audi, the purple, orange and grey. Snoer is still there. Where is Sereno? My Sereno guy is gone. Sereno is no more with us.
Yeah, I see. He's dropped out. So I don't know what happened with Serrano. So he's also Alroy's also dropped out for some reason.
See, out of the pits comes Ferrara. Where did he filter in? It looks like he's
lost a lot of time.
He has. Again, from first to ninth is probably not that bad. He seems to be ahead of Lee. No, he's not. He is definitely behind Lee at this stage.
He's just behind Lee. So he's about 3 or 4 seconds behind. 3.3 seconds behind Lee.
Now the question is whether he has gone into, and we all know he went into the pits, whether he has fixed the damage that he had on his car, which will maybe give him a bit of an advantage. New fresh tires, a bit of a bodywork done versus what Lee has had. Ooh, and he goes way off track at the moment. That's just going to put a lot of dirt on his track, make his life harder. These two boys are still battling it out. They are pretty much the closest on track.
Yeah, so I'm watching. I see P2 has taken about a second out of Alan. So are we in for some fireworks, or is he giving us some false hope here?
But it's tough to say. I can't see what they've done. Oops. Overall, their last lap are very, very similar to one another. Not much difference in between them. Let's just see what happens when they cross the line. So again, Alan Patterson still in the very low 24s. Delta seems to have gone back to about 3 seconds. Could be wrong again. 24.1 there by Alan. Also 24.7 there by Gope. So again, 5/10 taken back from Alan. Maybe just a enjoyable, relaxing lap there by Alan, and now he's just, no, you can't get closer kind of aspect.
Yeah, that does seem to be the situation. But yeah, it seems like Niall is having a bit of a fight here with Alex. That seems to be about the only fight currently on track, because Dave's made a mistake, so he's dropped about 1.2 seconds off from Jean.
It's going to be tough for that Aston Martin to try and make a move anywhere. I mean, the Aston Martin just doesn't have that exit speed that you want and need every time you put your foot down. It eventually builds it up, but it just doesn't have it on the word go.
Yeah, no grunt. Absolutely no grunt.
I would call it a lot of turbo lag is kind of the thing. Takes forever, yet it doesn't feel like it if you sit behind the wheel. It just feels like the car is moving. But if you put it side by side by anything else, it's just standing still.
So that's what we've got in front of Alan, to slow him down and give him lots of turbo lag.
Oh, probably. Again, it's an Aston thing. I fell in love with the Aston many years ago. It's very good on corner entry, and it's great on straight line speed. But from an exit point of view, it's awful. Then again, I've seen people do quite the opposite. So I think I'm just a horrible driver.
I don't know. The weekend's 24-hour at Spa would be big to differ that.
Nah, that was a fun race though. But then again, kind of miss it. These boys are still giving each other a stick. Moore covering the inside line, forcing Nell to go very wide. Now if Nell can get that planted properly, he can get a proper exit out there. I think he just needs to play play Moore's hand, like force him to go more tighter on the first corner, which will then give him a slower exit speed out of it and allow Nail to get that quick on the pedal throttle for the second corner, hoping he doesn't have to go on the outside to try and move or pass him. But I think even if he does that, he should be in a position to make the move count.
Yeah, I think he kind of just needs to force a mistake out of Alex. He's
Mm.
not doing any dives on him. He's not having any. He's not forcing Alex to drive defensively at this stage. So I think
No, and that's what is needed.
that's exactly. He needs to go for a few lunges and just hold his breath and see what he can do.
Yes, like just make like Moore is potentially very aware that he's got this Aston behind him, but he's also knowing that he's not really doing much. Like he goes a bit defensive and then he takes his normal racing line. There we go. It's a better exit there from the Aston. He's got to take the high ground. No, that BMW just seems to have better legs down the straight.
Not close enough.
I think we're getting very analytical over here.
Well, there isn't really much battles going on. Dave seems to be getting slightly closer to Jacques again, so he's making up the ground on the mistake he made. But besides that, Alan's walking away. Cope is sitting comfortable in second, and I see Chris Heinecker has left the building.
Oh, what has happened?
Load shedding has probably grabbed him because just before I see he's disappeared. So I can only assume that either, because he did say he was going to run on his generator, so either something with the generator or something has gone astray there.
Another one gone. So it's just past the 10 o'clock South African time.
It's just past 10, and it is the next stage of load shedding. So yeah, unfortunately, the boys are dropping out with
that is terrible. We need to bring back the rule. If you do 90%, you get grid position.
Yeah, so I know that SimGP does score them, so he will score points.
Okay.
But it obviously is going to place you according to the results. So he would most probably, because he's going to drop probably about 3 laps, he will most probably drop to about 12th or 13th because like
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunately just how it's going to work out. But yeah, it's the way it is at this stage. We might have to, for the next seasons coming, we might have to try and see that we get the races done before the next bout of load shedding kicks in.
But it's tough with the situation there at the moment because you're trying to compensate for everything in and around different provinces, different provincial cities and so forth. So I think even from a fair standpoint of view, we might need to look into to see if we can get guys to drive, and if you can at least finish about 90% of it, you potentially keep the position. It's something we used to do in the GT Sport kind of days.
Okay. Yeah. So something we might have to start getting a bit creative, or we might start splitting up the races that you do 2 sprint races for the evening, so that if you disconnect, you at least score decent points out of the one,
or something.
So yeah, it's things we're going to have to unfortunately look at, because at this moment in time it does not look like load shedding is decreasing. It just looks like it's getting worse and worse and worse. So yeah, it's just, man, they're just absolutely horrific. So yeah, so unfortunately, that's just how it goes, I guess.
It's certainly not in favor of anyone that enjoys gaming, sim racing, or anything of that sort.
So I see Niall has gotten past Alex. So while we were bantering away about our situation, Niall has gotten past, and Alex has made a mistake, so he's dropped him further back on Niall. So yeah, his final race of the championship has definitely been unraveled before it even began.
It doesn't seem like it was Alex's night this evening. Again, lots of individuals took great opportunities. The big winners, in all fairness, this evening is Alan Patterson. No two ways about it. The man started 13 positions from where he is at this moment. Again, that's a lot, considering that this is a potential W, and I think we're probably going to do one more lap after this. And then, of course, Copes.
Yeah, because he started last. So Cope started actually in last because he's new. He wasn't added in an adjusted position on the grid. So he started literally from the last place.
Yeah.
And he's up to P2. So, I mean, that is fantastic.
And Chris Heineke would have been P3 because that's where he was fairly comfortably. Gary van Haar has now taken over that spot because of load shedding, so that is a potential podium for this man,
Yeah.
who is, looks like about 4 seconds ahead of Jacques Vermeulen, who's got another Honda on his rear end. Who's that? Is that Schnur? That's Schnur, who also hasn't had a great race. We haven't really spoken about this man. He's just had
Yeah,
one awful race.
has been crashing and spinning out every single lap. So he's been destroying his own race as well from lap 1, where things have just gone a bit pear-shaped. Yeah, it's just one of those things, unfortunately. So, like I said, the Honda here is quick, but it's seemingly that the Honda is biting back, as Robson and Schnur has found out.
Yeah, it's just not been any good at all. So as we go, final lap for Patterson. 12-man grid on the marker. Started off with a good pack of individuals. Load shedding took its toll. Incidents took its toll. Bad luck and minor fender benders across the field here and there. Again, Jacques Vermeulen had quite a few. Every time I looked at him, he was either in the barriers or someone kissed him.
He's been having fun all over the place.
Yes. Final corner for Alan Patterson. Again, this is a definite W for him. Started at the back of the grid as we spoke about the whole time. I think that is a big run and a big victory. Well deserved race and season champion. Season champion. Followed by Copes. Yeah.
Followed by Copes and P2. And then Gary, Mr. Slow Snail, bringing it home in 3rd place.
Yeah, again, rumor has it this man's going to go back to a Lexus.
Yes.
I saw it, I seen him talk about it again when he voices his opinion. Kind of puts it out there for everyone to know that he has spoken. Again, P3 for him, big race, big ups, well done. Sharks for million, cutting it out there in 4th. Dave bringing it in 5th. Nel Bullion coming in 6th. Everyone's jumping out the pits. Moore in 7th. Lee Bullion in 8th. Couple of corners for him. I think that was interesting.
That was a good race. Well done to the boys. That was a good race. Yeah, man. I think it was interesting, and I did not expect the championship to not have that much flair to it in the end.
No, not at all. And again, that's the race grid positions from everyone's standpoints. Individuals throwing their wild donuts everywhere. I don't even know who that is.
Terrence doing donuts.
There we go. Terrence doing donuts. I'm going to have that in the background. So this is where we are, final race. As we know, based on calculations, based on what you've predicted, Alan Patterson taking the W for the evening, and it seems like the season as well. Again, our final season for 2022. Next year is going to be a different character, different event. We'll see where the flavor lands. And again, big ups to the boys at race. Thank you for getting me into this on the final race.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. That was fantastic, and yeah, it was always fun commentating with you, boss man. Best way to close out 2022 with some great comms, man.
It is. And again, everyone in the stream, thank you for your support. Thanks for everything you guys have done. I think from a 2022 standpoint of view, it was quite entertaining. Something that I do like and see. So again, for this year at LNR on our YouTube channel, we've done phenomenally well. Without your support, it wouldn't have gotten there. Again, we've gotten about more than 150 new subscribers. We've got plenty of individuals liking our YouTube channels and so forth. So for the year of 2022, got about 600 likes. Again, those are big numbers for us because it means a lot for us, but it's not just all about us. It's about sim racing in South Africa as well as sim racing as a whole. So from my end, big ups, big thanks, Paul. Big thanks to you and everyone else on the stream. Um, have a good evening. Good night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you very
God
much,
bless.
and see you all in 2023. Cheers,
Good.
mate.
Bye.
Awesome. Yeah, that was fun. Thanks, boss man. I will, as soon as the server dies by itself, I will do the